I have a confession to make. I really hate this bathroom I made over. The more time I spend in it, the more the walls look like baby poop, and it is completely my fault because I have already gutted and completely redone this bathroom because when I moved in, it was a rotten, moldy, horrible mess. I retiled everything and I tried several different colors, but the light is so wonky in here that I just ended up going with this green, and I thought it would be kind of equestrian and chic. But since then, I have painted other rooms in my house in jewel tones, and I really love the way that looks. And especially if you look at these right next to each other, the colors just do not work together. This bathroom is very baby poopy. So we're gonna fix that without having to remove any of the tile, just a quick little facelift. So I started by removing everything. I wanted it to be a clean slate in here. And a quick hack for you if you ever have to remove a toilet is to one, shut the water off, then flush it, and then remove any of the remaining water from the back and the basin with a shop vac, because otherwise you'll be moving that toilet and water will slosh out and it is disgusting. Another hack, especially if you're doing this solo like I did, is to put down cardboard, and that helps you slide the toilet around easily and out of the bathroom without ruining any of your tile. And then always make sure to plug up that drain hole because otherwise sewer gases get in your house and it smells disgusting and you'll be sad. So I converted this vanity out of an antique sewing cabinet, and every time I undo a sink, I forget how smelly the P-trap is and how it splashes everywhere. So that's exactly what I did. It smelled awful. I had to light a candle, get rid of the smell, and then I got started removing the trim. Now, no hate to beadboard. I have beadboard in my other bathroom and I love it, but I just didn't love it in here. So I'm removing all of this trim gently. I plan to reuse it in the future, but just not in this bathroom. The other wall is cedar shiplap, which is completely new construction, so I'm not worried about preserving any historical elements. I removed the extra trim that I had added before to disguise the seams, removed the window treatment, and then I started patching all of the holes as well as some of the seams on the trim to make it look really seamless. Got everything sanded down smooth. I removed the old vanity light and then caulked everything, including the lines in between the cedar shiplap, because I want this to be a relatively smooth wall because what I'm adding next is a wallpaper. And I want that wallpaper to have as smooth of a surface to lay on as possible. But before I put the wallpaper on, I want to get all the messy painting out of the way, so I'm starting by painting the ceiling a light blue. And this color is actually called Light Blue by Farrow and Ball. I also framed out the plumbing for the sink so that the wallpaper can go easily around it. Of course, it's not a project by me if I'm not also painting the vent covers to match, so that's exactly what I did for the ceiling, and then I got started painting the trim. And for the trim, I'm using a burgundy color. And both of these are paints that I have left over from other projects, which is really nice because I didn't have to buy anything new. And I know this paint color combination sounds a little crazy, but wait until you see how it looks with the wallpaper, which is so beautiful. And the color is called Carib, so it's a kind of very dark brown. And you can see how the burgundy and the light blue both coordinate with the colors in the wallpaper, which is perfect. Then I got started with the wallpaper. I've only ever put on paste on wallpaper, and I think that's probably the easiest. I know a lot of people like the peel and stick option because it seems easier, but just imagine trying to put on a smooth giant sticker on your wall without any bubbles. To me, that sounds more stressful. For paste on wallpaper, you have a lot of give, you can wiggle it around, and I am a huge fan of working time as someone who is very slow and detail oriented, so that is my preference when I'm hanging wallpaper. Now, this is my second time putting up wallpaper, and I really didn't like the way this wallpaper was cut. So I'm used to a continuous roll, and then you just match up the pattern of the wallpaper. This was broken up into sections, which ended up creating a lot of waste, and I just barely had enough to wallpaper this entire room, even though I thought I'd purchased extra, which was stressful and kind of annoying because this was very expensive wallpaper, and I didn't like having to waste as much as I did. Because it was also not a continuous roll, I had a problem where as I was moving along the wall, the ceiling started to raise, and it left this really unsightly gap between the top trim and the top of the wallpaper. So I fixed that by adding some extra trim underneath the top trim. I just took a little bit of cove molding, I painted it to match. I also ended up painting that top trim burgundy. I felt like it just framed the wallpaper a bit better. And then I added in the new trim below, and you can see how that fills up the gap perfectly. The other issue I had with this wallpaper is that the edges on it were bright white, and even when I got a perfectly flush seam on the wallpaper, from the side you could still see the white peeking through, and it drove me crazy. Since then, I've learned that if you're putting up dark wallpaper, to maybe run a marker or something along the white edges before you install it, just to prevent this from happening, but I didn't know it at the time. So how I fixed it is that I kind of mixed up a couple different sample color paints until I matched the color of that wallpaper, brushed it on, rubbed it into the crack, and then removed the excess, and I think that did a pretty good job of disguising these seams. Then I got started with my window treatment. So I added in some new window film, and if you've never used cling window film like this before, it provides a lot of privacy, but also it doesn't require adhesive at all. It just sticks on onto your window with a little bit of water. And then you just cut the excess away. It's so convenient. Then I went to add in the new wood blinds, and then I realized that I had measured incorrectly and they were just slightly too wide for the window. But I am not one to give up easily, so I decided I'd try to cut it down with my table saw to trim it to fit. I wasn't sure how this would work. It honestly could have ended in disaster, but surprisingly, it worked really well. And when I put it back in the window, it went in and it fit. From there, it was time to add in the most beautiful vanity light I've ever seen. I really want this room to feel kind of like elevated whimsy, so this light has mermaids, it has stained glass, it's crazy, I love it, and for the quality, it's reasonably priced. Then I reinstalled this vintage wavy mirror that I found at an estate sale for $4. I'm still obsessed with it. I brought back in the vanity, restored the wood a little bit, and then I just felt like this brass is a little too glam, and the faucet was also just too high. It was causing a lot of splashing, so I replaced it with a lower profile one that's oil rubbed bronze that I feel like fits better with the wallpaper and the colors in here now. I reinstalled the toilet, and I also restored this little cabinet that I had in here that had some water damage. And if you ever are intimidated by buying antiques that have some water damage on them, look into this product called Restore Finish. It's great. It really does help to remove some of that ugliness. It's still gonna have some character, but hey, it looks so much better than it did before. Then I tested out a few different options for the curtain in here, and the curtain is just completely aesthetic. I don't really need one in here because of the shower glass, but I think it looks cute, and sometimes that's all you need. So I tried out this green first, and this one that was a bit more of like a rusty ochre color, and I liked this one. It just felt a little too dark with everything that was going on in the room, so I opted for the green one. I think that just brings out another color from the wallpaper and makes me happy, and I ended up just directly screwing into the ceiling since I didn't have a track up here for it. Keeping with the elevated whimsy theme in here, I added in this brass bird towel hook. And a little tip for you, if you ever have to screw into wallpaper and you don't want to punch holes into it, you can use an X-Acto knife to cut out little triangles, lift up the flaps, and then you can screw in or nail in through these holes. And if you ever need to remove those nails or screws later, then you just paste the flaps back down and you haven't completely ruined your wallpaper. And you can just tuck the flaps behind the screws. So you can see here, you can't even tell that they're there at all. And then this was a fun little failed DIY. So I had this white robe and I thought, oh, you know what would be great is if I made it more of an off-white to fit this room. What if I tried staining it with tea? And this went well to start, so I started by putting in the tea bags, steeping them, but my problem was that I did not remove the tea bags before I put in the robe. I only realized my mistake later, and then I went to fish out the tea bags, but the damage had already been done, and there were just splotchy, darker bits all over this robe. So eventually I'm gonna have to dye it again, but you know, you live, you learn. Speaking of that, let's get to the backsplash that I made for the vanity. Now the backsplash is completely unnecessary. The sink doesn't splash much at all, but I just thought it would be cute. So I started by tracing out the cutout on some plywood, got everything cut out, and then I got this stone tile, and I just removed the stone from the mosaic and puzzle pieced them together on the backsplash. I also broke up some spare pieces to use as little fillers. I used some thin set to set everything down. I sealed the stone before I grouted so that it wouldn't absorb any of the grout. And the grout I got was just a little too cool tone, so I added in some green sample paint. Now, obviously don't do this if you are tiling floors or walls, but for a mosaic, it's fine. I got that all grouted, and then I put on some copper tape on the sides to cover all the seams. Then I got it mounted to the wall, took a step back, and hated it. It just looked very glam with that copper tape. I wasn't a fan. So I removed it and replaced it with some darker copper tape, and I also hated that. It was giving baby's first craft project. Not good. So I gave up on the tape idea and just put some extra grout along the edges. Put that in place, and I thought it looked better, but it still just wasn't great. So I decided to try a new backsplash idea. I found a solution that could just be taped to the wall, so I went ahead and removed all of these screws and pasted these flaps back down, disguised the seams with a little bit of sample paint, and got started with my new backsplash. So first I cut out a template using a piece of cardboard until I got it the shape I wanted, and then I traced it on this copper sheet. I thought it'd be a really cool idea to use an aged copper in here, and it's so lightweight that I can just mount it to the wall with some double-sided adhesive. I smoothed out all of the crinkles and then got it mounted, took a step back, and I didn't really like it again, and I just thought, okay, maybe I'll just sleep on it. I'll wake up in the morning, see how I feel. When I woke up in the morning, it had fallen down. And I thought, you know what? You know what I feel? I feel like this doesn't need a backsplash. I've just been making myself crazy, and I feel like it doesn't need it. It just needs the wallpaper. So I cleaned up the wallpaper seams a little bit to make it more seamless. And then just as a new fancy finishing touch, I put in a new soap dispenser. And honestly, I feel like this looks really good. I feel like I didn't need a backsplash at all. I'm a crazy person, and that's fine. I went ahead and sealed this copper back up. I will use it in a future project, and plopped it and its stone backsplash friend in my decor for reject room, where you may see some of my DIY fails from the past and that I will find uses for in the future. So here's a reminder of what the bathroom looked like before, and here's what it looks like now. It's moody, it's beautiful, it's jewel toned, it has lots of beautiful whimsical details in here, and ultimately I wanted this room to feel like a jewel box, and I think it has absolutely accomplished that. Plus, I was able to do all of this without changing any of the tile, and this room just has so much more drama and ambiance, and it no longer looks like baby poop, which is amazing. Now that you've seen the completed room, I'd love to know, what is your favorite detail?